from Lavender Blue. Thank you so much for being here today. So I'm going to be making some magic shutter cards. You might have seen them before. They open and close like little shutter windows or blinds, and they're really cute. Now I've seen a few people do them, so I don't know whose idea it is. It's probably an old scrapbooking card idea, so it's probably been around for donkey's years, but this is the first time that I'm making them. And what I've done is I've got a free printable for you today, and I might just scoot you down a little bit, see if I can get a bit closer. Okay, so I've got some free printables. So what I've done is I've sized some of the kits to the size of the card that you want. But before I start, I need to talk about the printing because, okay, so I make most of my printables for 8.5 by 11 inch paper, which is US letter size paper. And that's because most people that do junk journaling are actually in the US. So, but having said that, I'm in Australia, so I print on A4 paper. Even though my designs are made for US letter size, you can still print them on A4 paper. So I just want to talk about what happened to me, because if you're printing on A4, you also will need to look at your printer settings, because on this one, the cards have turned out a little bit too big. So this is the size that it should be, which I'll tell you in a minute all the measurements and what you need. So it should actually be, well, mine are 12.5 centimetres by 15 centimetres, which is 5 inches by 6 inches, okay? Now with this page, instead of putting shrink to fit, because you can put shrink to fit or you can put just fill page on your printer. I put fill page on this one because I thought if I did that it would turn out the right size, but it's turned out bigger. But that's okay because I can still use these. It's not, you know, like there's not a lot cutting off the edges there. I'll probably just move it over here and so I don't cut off the girl. And same with this one. But what I've done is I've used 4 of the kits, you know, depending on which kit you want to make your shutter card for. But today I'm going to be using the cherry blossom one because I'm really behind on my journals and I want to get this one finished. So the cherry blossom kit was the July kit, which is like the main kit for the month, not the only kit, but it was the main freebie for my Ko-fi members. And this one here was the August kit, which is the dark and moody one. Now, I don't know what's going on with my printer sometimes. I've got an Epson Eco Tank, but it did not print the blacks correctly. They've come out sort of grey, so I'm going to have to fix mine. But yeah, so you've got 2 cards for that kit as well. And then I've also, this kit here is the Fantasy Woodland kit, and that also came out last month. So I thought I want to do one for that journal as well. And this is the latest, this month's kit, which is the Ko-fi freebie. This is Rustic Autumn, and on the 15th of September, it will be available for everyone to purchase, okay? But if you're a member in my Ko-fi group, you do get a free kit every month, and it's always a large kit. And you get other freebies on top of that as well. So it's well worth joining because it's only is $6 a month. It's in Australian dollars, but in US and UK, that's only like three to £4 or dollars. Okay, so it's well worth it. But that is September's. And I'm still working on this one, which is July's. So I've got a lot of journals to make. So anyway, so this is shrink down, and it's a little bit smaller. Look, I don't know why, I really don't. I hope yours print out the right size, because when I made these in Canva, and when I actually made them, it's according to Canva, they measured exactly the right measurements, and I didn't change anything when I saved them. And yeah, I put these on shrink to fit, and it's probably just to do with the fact that I've got A4 paper, but it's okay if they're a little bit smaller, because this is going to be a frame, and the outer edges are only going to be on the frame, which you're not going to see anyway, so it's okay. Okay, so I just wanted to get that out of the way. So now, as far as what you're going to need, you will need 3 pieces of cardstock. Mine's just a thin cardstock. It's only 160 GSM. But yeah, any cardstock you want to use. You need 3 pieces measuring 12.5 centimetres by 15 centimetres, or that's 5 inches by 6 inches. Okay, so 3 pieces. And then we obviously need our 2 cards, front and back. So decide what you want on the front of your shutter window, and then what you want on the back. And then you'll need some more paper, like a patterned paper, or whatever you want to cover your frames with. Now I've just got this one. I'm not sure if that's what I'm using, but this is from another kit. It's I've just got a kit that's got like background papers with this writing on, like sort of shabby chic papers. I just thought that this colour would go really nicely with that cherry. So yeah, I might just use this one, but use any paper you want. And that is to cover the actual frame. Okay, so how we start, and I've got some notes here because I wrote it down because it can get confusing. The other thing that you need before we start is you will also need some ink if you want to ink the edges, and you'll need some sort of like masking tape. I've seen someone use double-sided tape, but that didn't really work out very well, because things can sort of stick to each other and it gets a bit messy. So I am going to use the masking tape, and I'll show you what we're going to do with that. I'm just making sure I'm still filming. Here I am. So I've had one of those days when I've been having some technical difficulties with my phone, with my my phone stand. This is just a selfie stick, but it's I use it as my tripod. And that kept falling over, and I've knocked over my coffee twice. And so I've put this in front of the stand so it doesn't fall over. And then before I started this video, I was having troubles with my printer. It just would not connect to the internet, and it wouldn't print. And so anyway, I'm here now, but I'm doing this a lot later than I wanted to. Now, the other thing is, if you're in my Facebook group, I think I'm going to make this a challenge for this month too. So after I get off the video, I'll put that challenge in the Facebook group, and you can just make your shutter card. And there'll be a prize of, it'll probably be one of my kits of your choice from my shop. Okay, so let's get into it. So the first thing we need to do with the first card, or actually the first 2 cards, we need to do the same way. See, I've got coffee on mine. That's okay. is to measure, I'm just using the centimeters on my mat, 1.5 centimeters in from each edge, and draw a line so that we're actually going to create a frame. Now 1.5 centimeters, I'll just check that in inches in a second. Get a straight line. Goodness. So that's, it would be just over 1/2 inch, but it's not 3/4, so between 1/2 inch and 3/4. I think that's 1, 2, I don't know, sorry. I don't know inches that well. I think it's, oh, hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, sorry, 5/8 of an inch, okay? 5/8 of an inch if you're in the US. I think I'll do it with my ruler. I find it a bit quicker. There we go. So I'm going to use my cutting knife, craft knife, and a ruler. You can use scissors. You can just poke a hole in the center. If I was using scissors, what I'd do is poke a hole in the center, cut to that corner, cut to that corner, cut to that corner, and then it's easy for you to just cut the sides off. Let's turn it this way. So you'll need to do this with 2 of your pieces, okay? I've cut all the way through, yep. So I'm going to do it with this piece, and then the second piece I'll do off camera. Okay, so here's the first frame. You can rub this out with an eraser if you want to, but you're probably not going to see that. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do this one, and I'll be back with the next step. Okay, so next, if you want to ink all your edges, you can. Actually, I might do it after I've covered them. It's not really necessary. So what you need to do with the pattern paper you chose is also cut them to the same size as your frames, okay? So I'm just going to get a bit of glue. And you only need to put glue all the way around the edge of your paper because it's going to stick onto the frame. And if you need to add extra glue once you've stuck it down, you can always fix that. But you can cut strips and cover your frame that way if you wanted to, but I think this way is easier. So I want my writing going that way. And you can cut it slightly smaller than the frame if that's easier. I'm gonna make sure that's glued down. Again, we can use the craft knife to cut this out. Or you can come in with your scissors. I think I'm going to use my, we're going to use my craft knife. Hopefully I won't cut the frame. So we just want to come in and cut that out. So that's one side. Second side. Third side. You can come in and trim with your scissors if it's not quite right. Okay, so there's our first frame. I'm keeping all these little bits, make some journal cards or something out of them. Now I might put a bit of ink and on the inside of the frame, probably more the inside that you'll see, but you don't have to ink at all if you don't like that look. I've been using this sort of what's this one called? It's thistle, and it's like a sort of a berry red. So I've been using that in this particular journal. So I'm just going to use that on here as well. So I'll just quickly cover both frames. That's my second frame. I didn't have enough of the pink one, but I've got a yellow one, which I think would look just as nice. Glue's not coming out very fast today. You could probably make these in like in bulk. If you cut, cut it a few at a time, rather than just one at a time. Okay, so this paper's a little bit long, but I can just trim that off. A bit long. for a second. So now your third piece, which is 12.5 by 15 centimetres, we need to measure every 3 centimetres along the long side. So let's go up higher. Need to draw a line every 3 centimetres. 3, 6, 9, 12. Three, 6, 9, 12. And then we are going to cut. And this is going to be our shutters. Little window shutters, if that's what you want to call them. You need to be fairly accurate, as accurate as you can be. We need our frames again, and when we come back we'll do the next step. Okay, so for now we're just going to need one of our frames. Decide which one you want on the top, and what we need to do is stick down our shutters, but what we have to do is get the tape, and we're going to cut, hang on, I've got a bit of tape on my scissors. We're going to cut little strips to stick these to the frame. I'll just show you. So they can't be any wider than the frame. So mine are going to be maybe about 1 centimetre. And then make sure it's lined up to the top edge. And then I'm just going to stick this down on the frame like that. And same with the other side. You could cut all your strips straight ahead, ahead of time, that might be quicker. And make sure you've burnished it down really well. And then just take the next one and put it across. Do the same thing. And mine's a bit longer. So it's just a tiny amount. So I'm going to take a little slither off mine. Okay. hopefully that was straight enough. Okay, so now it's fine. Two more strips. I'm going to do the same thing. This one might be a little bit wide. Okay. Now with the bottom ones, the bottom one, just going to take it, take the tape around to the back. Okay. I've got a little gap in mine there, which is not ideal. I don't really want the gap there. See? That's a bit better. Okay, so I'm just gonna re-stick that one. Okay, so I'm just going to make sure they all fold down nicely like this. Yep. Alright, I'm going to fold them back up. Now what we need to do now is we need to put more tape, but we need to put it on the top ones. But we're not gluing them, sorry, we're not sticking them down to anything. So we're just putting them on like this and leaving the edge overhanging. So this one, and we have to do the same with all of them. So just be careful not to stick it down. Do now is take all of our shutters and fold them down like this, so we've got the sticky side up, and we take the other frame, the way it goes, that way, take the other frame, I'm just going to cut this piece off, and we're going to stick it over the top. So start right at the top here where there's no sticky. I'm going to take it all the way to the bottom. So now that is going to now stick to the masking tape. And then with these bits, we take them and we put them on top. I hope this is going to work okay. Because I have a little bit of white sticking out here. I can cut that off. So this is our mechanism now, so we should be able to fold it up, fold it down. So that's how we get the shutter mechanism. And then we need to glue our images onto the front and the back. Those are those cards that we've printed out. Okay, isn't that really neat? I think it looks really cool when it's done. Okay, so we've got that. And I'm just going to cut off the ones that are sticking out from the edge of the frame. I think. I don't want to cut the back frame off though, do I? Don't worry about it too much because you can also decorate it at the end, so it's not really going to matter too much. It's a bit hard to actually cut that now, but there's just one little bit there. Don't worry about it too much. I think I'm going to leave it there actually because I don't want to ruin anything. Yeah, let's just leave that for now. Okay, so now we need to get our cards. Alright, so I'll just go ahead and cut these out off camera. Okay, so the next step is to get your little window cards that you want as your image and cut them every 3 centimeters, just like the little slats, I call them slats, that we cut. So now, as I told you, mine printed out slightly smaller, so I had to adjust the width of mine to just a tiny bit smaller. It was only by like about 1 millimeter or a couple of millimeters, so that I could get 5 equal ones. So I've got, I think I want this one on the top and that one, the other one underneath. Is that upside down? Yeah, it is upside down. This one's okay. So this is the top, right? So it would go up like that. So what you need to do is to glue, put glue on it and glue these ones. If you have it open like that, it's the easiest way to do it. So you would slide these ones in there like that and just glue them down. See how I said it didn't really matter that it was shorter on these ends because they're covered by the frame anyway. Okay, but you want to try and get it the same that way. Okay, so I'm just going to start gluing. I might actually use the PVA this time because it comes out a little bit quicker. That's if it hasn't got So these are going to go on the back, because I can already see that this one's wider. Okay. So I would cut these first, these images, and then size your card ones to be the same. I think, yeah, that's definitely what I will do next time. Okay. Now we need to glue the one on the other side. So I'm going to just open it up again. And this time, obviously, we're going to put them underneath. But also, you know, the same way up. So move it like this so you can slide them in and see where you're putting them. To do for to get it ready for our journal is cut a piece of card that is a bit larger than your frames. So they were 12.5 by 15 centimeters, so I cut mine to 13 centimeters by 15.5, so it's only like half a centimeter larger. In inches, maybe a quarter of an inch larger. Or, you know, you can do it a bit larger if you wanted to, but it doesn't need to be that big. So what you need to do is just, so this whole thing is going to be glued down onto here. But this bit needs to move, okay? This top one here. Oh, it's a bit stuck. There we go. This top frame needs to move, but the bottom one can be anchored. So we just need to put the glue on the bottom frame and glue this to the bottom frame. So here we go. This card is what you're going to use to put in your journal. So, I don't know why this keeps getting stuck. So what you can do is you can make it a pocket. So you can glue these three sides here, and then you'd have a little tuck behind it, and then you'd still have your little mechanism. You can just have it, or you can have a pocket at the top and glue these three sides. or you can just glue it straight down to the page, and you know, you have all your decorations and whatnot up here and also around the frame. I'm not going to do it on camera today, I've decided, because this video is getting too long, but I will show you a photo of it when it's done, and I'll just, you know, put some flowers and different fussy cuts around, making sure I'm not stopping it from doing this, and then put some paper in here and across here, and you know, decorate it all up. And then mine's going to go in my journal, I think, with a side pocket, so I'll have a pocket here. But you could also just completely use it as this and put it into a side tuck. As I said, glue it straight down to the page and it just becomes the page mechanism. I might do that as well. You could even just put it into a bottom tuck, bottom pocket, and have it loose. Okay, so there's lots of things you can do with it. And as I said, I'm going to turn this into a what do you call it, a challenge in my Facebook group. So if you want to join in on that, check it out. So in my description below the video, I'll have all my links, my link to my Ko-fi, to these kits, to everything. So yep, I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope that you understand how to make it. That's really all I was worried about. So I hope that you enjoyed that, and if you have any questions, just leave them in the comments below. Okay guys, thanks so much for watching, and I hope to see you soon. Bye bye.